We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of It's And yes, we have concluded Christmas. And we got one more holiday left. And it is New Year's. My Christmas was cool. I told y'all last week that I was gonna have a Nigerian Christmas or whatever, and it was good. The food was on point, and now I can tell you where the food came from. It was Divine Catering in Brooklyn. The restaurant is on Atlantic Ave. They are going through renovation right now, but I mean, you can still order food from there if you ever want to taste some, Nigerian food. I went to my parents' house. I saw my brother and my sister-in-law. And yeah, so I had a decent Christmas. Not a decent Christmas, I had a good Christmas. Christmas was lit. Christmas was lit or whatever. But yeah, I hope for next year that we are gonna have a more realistic Christmas because, I felt like Christmas was where I drew the line this year. Like Christmas was like so. It was like weird not having like that Christmassy energy, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So, do y'all notice anything different about me? Let me get closer to the camera. So, y'all notice anything different about me? Okay. Well, I know some of you stream, y'all like, what is this girl even talking about? I'm gonna let the streamers pass, but if you watch, I got my braces off. I got my braces off this week. It was this week. Well, technically it's not this week. Last week, I got my braces off. And yeah, it was a long journey. It was a long journey. I have on currently retainers, and they're the clear aligners. They look like Invisalign. That's probably basically what it is. So I have to wear these all the time. But I think they're so annoying because you got to take them out when you eat and when you drink coffee or tea or any. I don't know. I might get used to it because I got used to braces, right? I wore my braces for about 2.5 years. So, I recommend anybody who wants to get adult braces, definitely get them because it was worth it. It was definitely worth it to me, at least. I felt like, I feel like I just got braces. Like, I literally remember the day I put them on. Like, I really, remember my journey to looking for an orthodontist. And, yeah, so if you want to, you're thinking about it. Because I remember when I got them, I'm like, dang, Brittany, you 26, sis. Like, fuck out of here. But I always knew I wanted straighter teeth. So, yeah, this is I always say one of the best investments I ever made. Like, one of the most expensive things I paid for that I'm so happy that I paid for. Like, no exaggeration. Like, this is something I'm like, I would never regret. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you want to get braces as an adult, I had got the clear on the top, middle at the bottom. It's a little more money, or they call it ceramic braces. But it was worth it. I love the way my teeth look. The retainers are a bit annoying. I don't know why, because I'm not used to it. I'm quite sure people who have Invisalign, they're like, we about this life. We've been wearing Invisalign for 2 years, sis. Like, so I'm pretty sure if I got used to braces, I could get used to a retainer. So I don't think I'm talking funny, but if you feel like I'm talking funny, that's probably why. Because I do feel myself I feel like I'm my mouth is moving proper or something. I don't know. I can just feel everything. It feels weird, but yeah, that happened this week. I think that's pretty big for me, to get my braces off. Some of you may not even have noticed because of with lighting and stuff. You could barely tell I had braces, but if you look at my teeth, you can see this hump on it. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, when I look at pictures, now my teeth feel flat. Like, you have this certain hump, this indentation on your teeth, even when you get ceramic braces. So I felt like they were, relatively noticeable. So yeah, I got braces, I told my man, it's new. I'm a new girl. Like, I have new teeth, new me, new year. I'm a new girl. We're breaking up. This relationship is over. I'm a new girl. I'm like, and relationships, friendships, my family. I'm just gonna start over next year. How you say? I'm gonna get new parents. I'm gonna get a new family. I'm a new girl. I have new teeth. Hello, good morning. But yes, I'm feeling it OD. So yeah, I'm happy about the new teeth, I guess. And yeah, that's one of the dope things that happened this week. Nothing too crazy. I mean, like I said, Christmas was cool. It definitely didn't feel the same though. And I like I said, that's where I drew the line, was Christmas. Like, even though it was cool, it was just like, I kind of, like, I didn't miss it, but I just felt like it was wrong. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not the type of person, I ain't gonna front, like, I don't need to be around a bunch of family, a group of people. Like, especially lately, like, if I'm around too much people, I get too much anxiety. So I be curving events like this, bitch. Like, bitch, you write me somewhere, there's too many people, I have to stay in the house. But I still felt wrong. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, you like, okay, I'm kind of happy I don't have to deal with a group of people, but at the same time, this is wrong. Like you say, you know how you do something and you just like, this is not right. What we're doing is wrong. Does it bother me? No. Is it right? No. That's how I felt. That was how I felt. Like, I didn't feel the need to be around a group of family, but I didn't feel like it was right. That's how I felt this Christmas. Like, I felt like that was where I drew the line. Like, I felt like Thanksgiving, it was a discussion around it. Like, we all had a discussion. It was a big topic, a hot topic. Like, are we gathering? Are we gathering? So it was like, all right. Like, it was like a thing that you came to accept. But with Christmas, I felt like it wasn't like something we came to. Did we like reach an agreement? Like, it wasn't like we just felt like, all right, some people gathering, some people not. Like, so it just felt weird. Like, it definitely felt different, but it wasn't something I was pressed about. Let's put it that way. Like, honestly, I was the one that was preaching to stay in the house. Like, Femi, he the one that was like, oh, let's go to your parents' house. Da, 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 da. Like, he didn't go to my parents' house. Then when my brother came over here, he had like dropped off some cookies. Him and his wife made holiday cookies. He dropped it off. I guess just, you know, drop it off, say hi, say what's up, blah, blah, blah. Then he was like, oh, I'm about to go to mommy and daddy's house in Queens. And then Femi was like, oh, let's go. And I'm just like, I'm gonna just sit in the house, low key, high key. But then when we went, I was just like, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool. But you definitely was like, cause me, my mom, my dad, my brother, and sister, we kind of like do that on a regular. Like, what we did on Christmas, we sometimes do that. We do that for birthdays, or we'll do it randomly. Like, that to me felt like a norm. Does that make sense? Like, it didn't feel like that's something we do normally. Like, we'll do that mad randomly for no reason. Like, or we'll do it for July 4th. But usually, you know, Christmas, we sometimes have people over. I think, do we always have people over for Christmas? I feel like we do, actually. I feel like we usually do. So I feel like, you know, hopefully next year we can do, well, we'll talk about that, you know, things bigger. So speaking of next year, this is why I came to you looking like New Year's Eve, looking like Rich Auntie, looking like Monet from Power. Let's get into it. Because we are celebrating New Year's, right? So I'm bringing to you what we won't be doing in 2021. What we're leaving in 2020. The things we did in 2020 that we will not be bringing into 2021. Honestly, let's be honest. We're not trying to bring anything into 2021. None of it from 2020, period. I don't care if it was good. We're not inviting it. Like, it's done. Everything that happened this year has to stay. It's a wrap. Whether you liked it or not, it's staying. Period. So, with that being said, this episode is what we won't be doing in 2021. I only have 8, surprisingly. I wanted to do 10, but hey, if I got 8, I got 8. So, I think we should just make that. Like, I did it, but I didn't put it in any specific order. So, I'm going to do, like, the little corny ones first. The first thing I personally would like to leave in 2020 is the Zoom chat nonsense. I can't take it. I can't even relate on a work level, but I've heard the work tea. Actually, on Christmas, my sister and my mother was telling me about the Zoom chat nonsense. And I personally just don't like Zoom and the little screen, whatever y'all use in Microsoft Web, all of them, Google Meets. I don't fuck with it. I don't like the job interviews for it. I don't like watching podcasts with the Zoom squares and watching, like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Cameras, I'm big on quality. You feel me? Like, I'm big on quality. I love watching YouTube. I own my own camera. So it could be a me thing. But I just feel like no matter what you do, you could never really get good quality out of a webcam. Whether you put a ring light there, whether you put yourself in front of the window, you're never going to get that quality of, you know, a digital camera or a camcorder. And I'm not saying, you know, obviously, like, go get a digital camera or anything. I'm just saying, like, hopefully for 2021, that's one of the things that they should do is make better webcams. Like, for real, like, webcams need to be 4K. Because I personally won't be watching that. I'm not doing it any longer. I won't be participating. I just can't take it. It's something about, and like, I can't concentrate. And that could be a me thing. Like I said, I'm big on quality. I like clear things, like, and I can't focus. And even like the microphone is not that good, or, you know, the sound quality is not that good. So for me personally, I just can't get jiggy with the squids, with the blurriness, with the sound quality. I can't. Just seeing the houses, the apartments, like, I can't relate. Like, I liked when I watched, and I didn't like, it was okay. Like, for instance, now that's so crazy. Like, we really are going into a year of COVID. But I remember I watched the reunion of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and the reason why I said I can't believe we're going into a year of COVID is because when COVID started, we were going into the reunion of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now we're in the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But anyway, I remember I was watching the reunion and then they did the square nonsense. And I was like, I can't relate. Like, I just can't get jiggy with this. But it was still good. But like, for instance, Nene, even though a lot of that stuff is for theatrics, for reality TV. But like, Nene, like, knocked down the laptop. She left and she slammed the laptop down. Like, you know, usually if they was together, she probably would have got up and walked away. But the closing of the laptop was too much. And then, like, you can't go get Nene back because, you know, she in her house. But what I did like about Real Housewives of Atlanta was that they just still dressed up and they made sure their backgrounds were elegant, but it was still quality. It was still blurry. It just wasn't the same. So yeah, I can't get jiggy with the Zoom, the Google Meets, whatever y'all using. I don't like it. I do not. WebEx, what else they got? They got all these fucking apps with these blurry ass cameras. It's not the app's fault. It's just that we never put investment into webcams because we didn't, you know, the world didn't expect webcams to be this big thing where they felt like they needed 4K. I don't know why. Honestly, I really don't know why. So, I mean, it is what it is. Next, what we're going to be doing, not be bringing into 2020, is not doing our research. Girl, 2020 was the year of everybody think they know everything, especially when it came to politics and just COVID and just everything. Like, it was the year, the reason why we all wanted to be these knowledge worms was because we were living in a time where, one, they stuck us in our house, and now we trying to figure out when we gonna get out. So now we feel like we gotta do our research. Then we had the election going on, and with Trump being in office, he was just a headache. So people was like, now I gotta pay attention to the country. Now I have to pay attention to the election. So then they started paying attention to the election. When the whole race and riots was going on, you know, people started paying attention to, you know, investigations and watching videos and seeing what happened and why this person got shot, how this person got shot, who shot you, who shot him, and we did so much research. People weren't doing research. They'll watch a video and make up a scenario. People will say, I don't know, oh, COVID sits on your car. Remember when that was a thing? And guess what? I'll be honest, we still don't know if that's true or not. Like, I don't know, right? COVID stays on surfaces for 72 hours. Remember when that was a thing? It was so much. They told us wear your mask, then they said don't wear your mask, then they said wear your mask again, and it was just like, so we had and then the people, when they said wear your mask and then they told us not to wear a mask, you got the people still saying not to wear a mask because they told us. It's like nobody was really doing real research. I feel like a lot of people were just reading headlines, and that you can in some ways blame on media. Like, I feel like the Shade Room does that a lot. Like, they'll put a headline, and I'm like that too, you know. I want to, you know, get money off of YouTube, so I could be very clickbaity. I understand clickbait, but the mass doesn't understand clickbait. For me, my platform is opinionated. Shade Room is trying to make their platform a platform that is resourceful, right? So I feel like they should do that. Platforms like CNN, not saying that CNN does that, because I don't think CNN is clickbaity. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like if you're trying to be a resourceful media platform, meaning this is a platform you can go to and you know that they check their sources, you probably shouldn't be clickbaity. That's just my opinion. Like, you know, it's a lot of misinformation. Like, I was about to bring up an example, and I was like, you know, I'm not gonna bring up the example because I don't have full information on that, or whatever the case may be. So I just feel like a lot of us, it actually is two things. We either need to start doing our research, or if you're really not about that life, if you're not a journalist, if you're not somebody who's like big on politics and things like that, or whatever the case may be, or you're not a medical person, something, maybe you should let that career path go in 2020. Maybe you should stop being a researcher. Let it go. And that's fair. I think even some of us are tired of being researchers. Like, I see the ad on YouTube all the time. It was like the top thing, you know, one of the top things Google this year was why. Everybody wanted to know, why was this happening? Why are people have to stay home? Why do people have to wear masks? Why are people rioting in Minnesota? Like, it was a lot of whys. They want to know the answer. Before, a lot of us weren't like that, and that's fine. Because I feel like, too, some people, you know how sometimes we put pressure on people to be in the now, right? And when I say in the now, I mean, like, you ever meet somebody that's like, you don't know what's going on in the news? And it's like, okay, you should know a little bit about what's going on in the news, right? Just in case, you know, like COVID, right? Let's say you were about the news, you go outside, you don't got a mask, now you get a ticket. Back when you would get fined for it. So yeah, certain stuff you need to understand why it's going on. When you see the mask, obviously hundreds of thousands of people wearing a mask, you want to Google why is everybody wearing a mask. Like, that should be key. But certain stuff, you don't have to put yourself in that conversation. And I think that's okay. I hate when people be like, you don't know what's going on in the country. You didn't hear about what's going on in Liberia. And if they didn't, that's fine. Life is a journey. Life is a conquest. Like, I know me personally, I don't like watching the news. I've always been like that. I probably just started watching the news again this year because I think the news is sad. Like, they'll be like, are people like, yeah, this person got shot down the block. You didn't know what's going on in your neighborhood? No, I don't. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about somebody getting shot. Maybe I would want to know if there's a robber on the loose or a serial killer at best. But if it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you don't have to be a research nerd in 2020 or 21. Like, you could stop that. You could stop that career. Like, it was a very 2020 thing. I think being a researcher in 2020 in some ways was needed, because that was really the only way you could get on board. You can't go outside, you can't hear the tea, you can't get the scuttlebutt from other people. But I think if you feel like it's a lot on you, you do not need to know everything that's going on in the world. And that could be a problematic statement for some, but I stand by that statement. I don't think you have to know everything. Like we got enough on our plate. Like you don't have to be this big like world nerd. Like stop. Like knock it off. Honestly, let's be honest. So just basically what we're gonna leave in 2020 is like not doing our research if you want to be a researcher, and you know, not feeling obligated to be this world nerd. You can leave that in 2020. The world nerd thing is over. It's a wrap. It's finished. It's done. You are released from your job. You no longer have to do it. Just live your life the way you were before. Less stress. Please. This one, I'm not going to do that one yet. The next thing we're leaving into 2020 are just Karen's, racist people. Like, I feel like, look, like this. If you want to be racist, that's sad. That's unfortunate. But leave us the fuck alone. Like, for real. Leave black people alone. Like, in what we're going to do, what we're not bringing this to 2020, when I say leave black people alone, I mean literally, leave us the fuck alone. Like, stop with the, oh, you got your hair done today. Like, stop with the, did you cut your hair? Bitch, you know I didn't cut my hair. You know I got a bob today. You know this is a bob weave. That shit used to get me tight when people used to do that. When I used to have like a longer weave and then I come in with a shorter weave. Oh, you cut your hair? Bitch, you know I did not cut my hair. I will knock your head off. Oh, and then in another month, my hair all the way down here. You know, you see me all the time. So why are you asking me that I cut my hair? Or if you have box braids and then you take out the box braids. Y'all white people better leave us the fuck alone in 2020. I promise you, you better leave us the fuck alone. I swear to everything I love. You gonna leave us alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Don't ask us no questions unless it's important. I feel like, honestly, leave us alone. Don't even ask us what time it is. It has to be dire, important, like, excuse me, like, something like, just leave us alone. Like, for real. Even, I've been hearing some things, too, about, like, around the time when the riots and stuff was going on, white people felt the need to ask their black counterparts, like, how are you feeling? And it was just weird conversations. Like, stop. I'm gonna need you to stop. Leave us alone next year. I feel like y'all, like the white, if you're a racist person, just be racist in your head, in your house. Don't bring that shit outside. Like, just chill. For real. Like, real talk. Like, Karen. You see black people barbecuing. You see black people playing loud music. I'm sorry, next year, and maybe even beyond, the music has to stay loud. I'm sorry. Like, you gonna really have to leave us alone. We've been through enough. Please, leave us alone. I don't want to be asked questions, anything. I really feel like that. I really feel like that. Like, we don't want the backhanded compliments. We don't need compliments because now they do that too. Oh my God, you look so nice. You don't even know if we look nice. You're just saying it because you feel like you got to compliment a black person now. Like, just stop. Stop. The most, I don't even know if y'all should say hello. If you want to say hi, fine. We'll do highs. But it's hi and bye, honey. Just hi, and walk away. No need for extra conversation. Because guess what? Okay? Keisha at your job does not like you. She never did. She's being nice to you because she feels she has to. You're annoying. Leave her the fuck alone. If you're working in corporate, leave the black workers alone. Leave them alone. Don't ask them questions. Don't say no smart shit to them. Leave them alone. Unless it's work related. Leave them the fuck alone. White people, leave us alone. Like, for real, respectfully, leave us the fuck alone. And that's just that on that, honey. You have to leave us alone. Karen, I know. Something's wrong with you. I know. You have to stop. You have to stop, Karen. We're not doing that in 2021. You're not going to call the police for no reason. You're gonna calm down. You're gonna relax. And you're gonna mind your business. And you're gonna stop. Stop. Okay? That was for you. Look, we're progressing. We're progressing. Okay? Yes, I'm here for it. Woo! The next thing we are doing, this one is a little problematic, but we're canceling introverts. I said it. Brittany said it. Britt says, okay, we're canceling introverts. And okay, this is what I think we all need to be hybrids. We need to be hybrid introverts and extroverts. I feel like all of us were locked in the house. And you know, I'm not really an introvert though. Like once I come out the house, I feel like I'm very chatty. So I wouldn't consider myself an introvert at all. Like some like lately I always want to be in the house. I want to be to myself. But once I get outside, if I get around a group of people, I'm gonna run my mouth from tour, we have conversation, we kiki, we can do all that. Like it's up from there, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like there should be no introverts in 2021. Like I said what I said. We played the introvert role for 9 months. Okay? And bitch, we might be playing it longer. Because they said when Biden come in, he's going to shut the country down. So I'm going to need for you to come out your shell and open your mouth and talk and be cool. And then something like, well, that's a mental health issue. And that some people have social anxiety. And, All right, I get that 100%. Because I understand 100%, you know. Honestly, sometimes when you're in a big room or a big crowd, you do get a little social anxiety. Or some people who overthink everything they say. We're going to say things that might offend people because we don't know everybody's lives. So, like, that's a different topic. That's a different topic. Because I was going to say, like, we need to stop doing that. But that doing that, like, getting offended by things people say. Like, just because somebody says something doesn't mean that they were trying to come for you. But that's a different topic. But I feel like everybody should be hybrids at minimum. Is just be like a little bit of introvert, being a little bit of extrovert. And I say hybrid because I feel like even the extroverts learned this year, like, chilling in the house, sitting back, not being mixed up, ain't so bad, right? Some of us like that. I feel like I picked up on that. I'm not somebody, am I mixy? I don't know. I feel like I calmed down with that. But am I saying that because I calmed down with that in 2020? Like, who was I in 2019? Like, I gotta remember 2019, 2018. I don't remember. But I feel like some of us realize, like, you know, being in the house, being to yourself, watching TV, like, this ain't so bad for the first part, right? Because after a while, like, I feel like after like 3 weeks, the extroverts started losing their fucking cool. Like, I know I did. I started losing my mind a little bit. But after a while, you realize, like, it's okay to have some me time. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to not have to talk and run your mouth all fucking day. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to be able to go to the club or go out to eat or go do brunch occasionally. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. It's okay not to have to be at a gathering or something like that. Like, it's we need a balance. And I would hope, I think that some introverts were like, because the thing with being introverted too, right? You still have that option to go outside and be a little bit social if you want. But what 2020 made us do was, like, we're not giving you an option, right? So I felt like everybody should try to be a hybrid, you know? Create some balance. I feel like there's a lot of people who are really unbalanced. There are some people who are very, very extroverted, and there are some people who are very, very introverted. But I think this year we learned that there's a beauty in having a little bit of both, right? I think so. I would say so. I think that I really do have days, yes, when I'm in the house, when I was stuck in the house, I was bored. But I had some days where I was like, you know what? Today is kind of cool. Like, for real. Actually, a lot of days I had days like that where I just felt very chill, very cool, very just like, I could live like this, you know? And then I had some days where I'm like, what the is going on? Especially in the summertime. Summertime hit different. Having this like a COVID life during summertime hit very different. So yeah, I feel like in 2020 we're canceling the introvertness. And you know what? We could cancel the extrovertness too. We all need to be balanced. I think being able to deal with yourself sometimes and just be with yourself and not feel like you have to always be on the scene. You have to be in the party pictures. You have to be at the hottest new restaurant. I think learning yourself and knowing that it's okay to not be on the scene and just be to yourself is so important. So I would say we're canceling those terms. Britt said it. I dead ass said it. That might be controversial, but I said it. And that's that on that. All right, this one might be a tad controversial. Just a tad. Or just a tad. We're canceling the not gathering. I said it. Brittany said it. Britt says, I feel like 2021, you know, we're gonna need to gather. This is very problematic. And that's sad that now that's the new thing. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, Christmas was the straw for me, like the final straw for me. I was like, yo, this shit is wild and healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, next year, and I'm saying that in the sense of when the vaccine starts to hit different, people's health is getting better, hopefully. We're gathering Thanksgiving. We're gathering for Christmas. We're gathering for New Year's. We're gathering for July 4th. What other holidays am I missing? Easter, whatever you do, we're gathering for it. And I say that to say, like, I know some people like, you know, if you don't want to be around your family for mental health reasons and da-da-da, and I support that. Remember, it's mad holidays in a year. So you don't have to do Easter. Maybe you don't want to do Thanksgiving, but do Christmas. Maybe you don't want to do Christmas, but do Thanksgiving. Like, try to do certain holidays or whatever this year with your family. I know some of you like, I don't like my family. My family gives me anxiety. They're very troublesome, and I get that 100%. But I think I do think next year we need to gather with our family, you know. I feel like 2020 was a year of a lot of adversity, a lot of loss. And when I say loss, I don't mean just death. I mean loss. Loss of a job. Loss of financial stability. Loss of relationships, you know. Some people, they said divorce rates went up because people were staying in the house with their husbands and they couldn't stand them. So loss of relationships, loss of friendships, a lot of loss. And I just feel like 2021, even if it's one, just try to put back in that family gathering feeling. Even if it's one, even if you go to one, because I know 100% that family could be a headache. And you go to a family event, somebody always fighting, somebody always arguing, somebody always got something smart to say. I get it. And you shouldn't have to deal with that. And if you don't want to deal with that, then don't deal with that. I do have an episode where we talk about how to deal with problematic family members, and it's called It's the Holidays, and I will tag it below. So that when we get into that time next year, you'll be ready, because you have to attend. I'm telling you, you're attending. I feel like we need that. I know some of y'all like, I'm so happy I wasn't with my family this year. Some of y'all problematic as fuck. But I feel like we always see each other to do some gatherings, like real gatherings. Like, I know some people, they celebrate July 4th like it's nothing. I know some of y'all like, bitch, I gathered this year whether I liked it or not. But you know, with some family members who definitely did not show up. And even gatherings, and when I say gatherings, weddings. Some people, weddings were canceled this year, or they had to do a certain amount of capacity. You couldn't even invite your whole family. Baby showers, gender reveals. What else do we celebrate? Engagement parties, whatever. Even those things. Like, we have to bring that back to life, you know? If that's something you want to do, we should definitely bring those things back to life and, you know, gather. I really do believe that. I really do believe that. I think it's this year showed a certain importance. It took me to the end of the year to realize it, but so you see where my head is at. But I think this year definitely brought that to light, and I think that even if you think your family is problematic, you should try to give people a chance. And birthdays and things like that, and people, I've seen a lot of people doing their birthday regardless of the situation, but it was very low key though. I noticed that. I noticed it wasn't that much people there, so some people tried to follow guidelines. It was a little over 10, but it wasn't as big as it usually is, so I definitely did notice that. But some people still did their birthday kind of big. But you know, go to your friend's birthday party next year or whatever we usually did. Let's do it again. I really stand by that. I really genuinely do. At least do one, you know. I know some of y'all like, I don't like my friends. Like, bitch, that's not your friend. Some of you like, I don't like my family. But do one. Watch it. It's the holidays episode to motivate you. I will tag it below. And this one. Scammers, step to the table. I'm gonna need you to step to the front of the congregation. Cause bitch, there's a market of people that are having a pandemic while some people are living in a pandemic. And a pandemic is people who came up during the pandemic. And majority of these people are scammers. Okay? Now this is my thing with scamming, right? So some people scammed this year or whatever. Well, okay. Back in the day, scamming was people used to take rich people's credit cards, swipe it up, bang, 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 gang. Now, scamming is becoming a thing where we're just scamming anybody. We don't give a fuck about your bank account. We don't give a fuck about your situation. We don't give a fuck if you're a bum. We'll dead scam you for $10, my nigga. Like, I'm hearing people taking $35 from people. Like, straight up. Like, come on, knock it the fuck off. Like, real talk. Knock it off. Like, people are scamming people on Instagram, the new app Clubhouse. Like, stop. Like, stop fucking with regular day people. Like, that shit needs to stop in 2021. Like, if we're gonna scam, and I don't promote scamming, I'm just saying, like, the thing that bothered me about scamming this year was that I get it. We all going through something. Everybody's bags is not as tight as they used to be, or maybe your bag is hefty, but you wasn't spending the way you usually do because you like, you don't know what's gonna happen next, right? So all of us were kind of going through something financially, and I just felt like people who felt the need to scam this year, scam regular day people, was kind of fucked up. Like, chill out. And I feel like 2021 and beyond, people probably gonna start building up the holes that they dug up and stuff. And we trying to get financially better in 2021, right? That's probably the vision for a lot of people, and it's always the vision for a lot of people. So I just feel like, chill out with the scamming shit. Like, I've been hearing stories of like just people going on Instagram and saying, oh, if you cash at me $35, I could write, let's get this book published for you. And it's like $35. And I get it. If you play your cards right and you scam, maybe 500 people out of $35, you'll get a lot of money, right? But still, it's like, chill out. Like, for instance, the other day I got a text message. And the text message was like, let me see. My phone is over there. Okay, I'll brief it. Hey, this is Amanda. You forgot to send your payment didn't go through last month. So I'm like, bitch, my broke ass. I'm like, maybe it didn't. Maybe there is a payment that didn't go through last month. Let's be honest. So I'm like, okay, all right. But I know for the most part that usually people don't text you stuff like that. Like, an office will call you and tell you. But the thing that was so odd was that I had just came for the dentist to get my braces off. But my braces are paid off. So I was like, was this supposed to be a final payment when you do the last? Like, because it was the day that I took them off, I'm thinking like, maybe there's like this final random payment that you pay at the end of the process or whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. So I'm like, and it was so weird. It was like 1 hour to 2 hours after I came from the dentist. So I was like, maybe it's the dentist, and I was about to call them, but I'm like, I pay these shit off. And I remember when they sat down and talked to me, just like yesterday, it was like, you know, it costs this amount of money. Well, I'll be transparent. It was $4,400, and the dental insurance that I had at the time covered $1,500. Yeah, and I'm tight because then I went to another company and they covered $2,500 for orthodontics. I was tight, but hey, it is what it is. So I ended up paying out of pocket like $3,500 for like $3,000 something for my braces or whatever the case would be. So I paid it off though. I had my braces on for 2.5 years. I was paying on it monthly, so obviously the shit was paid off. They put me on a 16-month plan, so the shit has been paid off. And what I remembered was that they told me everything is covered. Your retainers, your X-rays, your scans, all that shit is covered through what you pay for. So that's what I like. Was like, all right, every time I pay this monthly, no matter what happens, and I'm grateful for that now. But that's a different topic. Whatever is paid for, boom. So I'm like, that's kind of weird that somebody would text me, you know. And usually too, one thing about people who come to collect, like I remember one time one of my payments was late, like a couple of years ago, and I don't know why. I think I had a new card, like card expired or something. And she called me or whatever, like the people at the office called me. And then also too, when I did something, I had to get my teeth fixed. Before you leave, they stop you at the front and they tell you like, oh, okay, you gonna owe $300. You want to put something down? Every dentist I've ever been to, because I used to go to a dentist in Queens as well until I moved back to Brooklyn. I was like, all right, let me get me a Brooklyn dentist or whatever. But anyway, they were like, they usually even stop you when you leave. Like I felt like before I left the dentist's office, she would have definitely stopped me. But anyway, so the technician said, hey, this is Amanda from the office. Your payment didn't go through last month, blase, blase. So I'm like, okay. And I was thinking like, maybe it's true. So I'm like, but me, I'm like, I pay these shits off because I be on my broke shit. I said, what payment? But I didn't say it like that. I said nice because I'm like, let me see what's going on. So I was like, okay, what payments? They took like 5 minutes. It was like your technology and insurance payments. So that sounds kind of legit because when they did your braces, like at the end, they scan your braces with this thing called the iTero. You guys, if you ever had Invisalign or anything like that, you probably have seen it, or you had to get retainers. And it scans all around your teeth so that you can get the perfect retainer. So that, it was technology, you know, it was a computer. Like I looked at it on the computer, I'm like, oh my God, look at my teeth or whatever. Then I had to do my final x-rays and all that stuff. And I had to take pictures and stuff like that. So I'm like, that sounds kind of legit. Or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that it was the dentist office, somebody who worked at the dentist office. I thought about telling my orthodontist about it, but I'm like, I don't want, that could have been a coincidence. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want that office getting shooken up because of some shit I said. You feel me? Anyway, I was going to say some other stuff, but I'm not going to say that. And, okay, I'm going to say it. And then when the culture and diversity shit started popping up, they had just hired a new black dentist. So I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't even think it was her. It's obviously wouldn't be her. She's a doctor. She gets money. Period. If anything, if it was somebody at the dentist, it would definitely be somebody at the front desk who deals with finances. That would only be. But off the strength that they on their cultural and diversity shit, that's the only reason why I didn't want to say nothing. Hopefully they don't watch the podcast. I highly doubt they do, but we don't know. Anyway, so. It was like, oh, it's a $75 technology and insurance fee. But you catch my drift? Like, y'all coming for $75? Like, bitch. Like, that's how you know people are just, it's any old body scamming. Like, back in the day, there were scammers. There were people who were just scammers. These are just people who are just coming up with ways to get money and steal money from people. Like, these are not, you get what I'm saying? So I was like, what company are you with? And then it was like Helen Keller. I was like, oh, you got the wrong number. I wanted to bomb them. And I was like, you know what, Brittany, don't do that. You're a woman of God first. And I was like, oh, I think you have the wrong number. And it was like, oh, I'm sorry. But you see what I'm saying? I also felt like, too, with Indeed. And I see how Indeed is trying so hard to get rid of bots and stuff like that. Like, they're trying their best. I am looking for a job. And I put my resume on, you know, Indeed a lot. Even some companies that I never heard of. You know, I'll Google the company. But even when I Googled Helen Keller, that website looked legit. I don't know if the scammers just picked out any company off the rip or whatever, but you could build a website. You get what I'm saying? You could build the company website and make it look good as fuck, and that company is fake. And one of the things that's on your resume is your phone number, is your email address, your address. So it's just like, it's not safe no more to do shit, and I don't like that. So I just feel like if you're not scamming rich people, then you need to stop. Like, you need to leave that shit all the way in 2020. Like, just please. Like, can we go back to when the pieces hit? Like, remember people used to take people credit cards? Like, what happened to the credit card scammers? Like, where are you? Are you in attendance? The PPP loans, like, that stuff is from the government. If you're doing PPP loan scams, you're crazy. That's number one. I don't know how you fucking with the government, because they're gonna catch your ass, period. But do that. Like, do that. Like, take out a fake loan, say you own a business. Like, stop bothering the regular day citizen. Like, leave people the fuck alone. Like, dead ass. Like, stop bothering everyday citizen people. Like, even scamming, to me, I consider scamming stealing packages. I consider scamming just doing shit. Leave the regular day citizen alone. Like, that's just my thing. I'm not saying bother rich people. I'm not saying that, because that's kind of fucked up too. Because I know rich people are like, I earn my money. Okay, cool. But my thing is just like, stop. Like, we all went through mad shit. Like, chill out. Like, go get a fucking job, my nigga. Like, eventually, too, the thing with me, any crime you do, you always eventually get caught up. Like, you always gonna eventually get in trouble, so maybe you should stop. So we need to, all the fake scammers that's trying to do scamming on Instagram and asking people to donate to charities, and all, stop. Like, I've been hearing the stories, and I'm just like, whoa. And I know some of y'all like, people who get scammed is dumb. Nah, not the way they're moving. I could tell y'all some stories, but it would take up too much time, and I'm not interested. But yes, definitely be careful on Instagram and these apps and things like that. And just, and that's the fucked up part, is like, you think you doing something normal and people dead ass scamming you for no reason. And you dead ass be a regular person. Like, I was on Clubhouse and I remember they was like, oh, how somebody like kind of scammed a person but used their name. And then the person was writing them like, yeah, wow, that's fucked up that you took $500 from me. You fucked up my kid's Christmas. Like, y'all fucking with people kids' Christmas. Like, think about that. Are you taking people rent money? Like, that's fucked up. Like, y'all be doing grimy shit. Scamming needs to stop. Like, I'm talking about the fake. Okay, let me be politically correct. People who scam in general, all the scamming, whether you scam rich people, whether you scam poor people, whether you scam middle class people, stop. We're leaving that shit in 2020. Get a job, build a business, do fucking something. Take the PPP. Bitch said, take the PPP loans. Do some scamming shit. That's like, how can I explain? If you want, okay, we're not scamming. I'm done. I'm done with the scamming topic because it's getting very problematic. The more I go, it gets problematic. All right. And this one is controversial too, I would think. I want to say in 2021, we're going to stop shitting on 2020. We are. Because I feel like 2020 was low-key a good and bad year. But a lot of good came out of 2020. Like, for real. I really believe that. Like, I feel like, number one, a lot of y'all motherfuckers did not want to go to work. Now you got to work remote. A lot of y'all needed a break from work. I think that a lot of people had lost. Like, some of y'all got laid off. And you needed to leave that job. You did. Did it fuck up your pockets? Yeah. But some of us needed a break, and we got a break. Some of us needed to get in tune with ourselves, and we got in tune with ourselves. Some of us got better spiritually. Some of us got better with our religion due to COVID, right? A lot of people built businesses in 2020. Let's be fucking honest. And it's because you had time. You had time on your hands to say, you know what, I need to start a business. I need to do this. I need to look into this. I need to learn how to invest. A lot of you became investors and things like that due to 2020. Right? I just feel like so much good came out of 2020 from our adversities. And so much more is expected to come in 2021. Just due to all the shit that happened in 2020. Like, when you in a storm, Now I'm gonna have to get my religious bag. God will put you through a storm to something greater. Like, so some of us, not some of us, a lot of people in 2020 went through so much. So if you went through so much this year, can you fucking imagine what's next for you? Stop. 2020 wasn't so bad. You know, I look back on my 2020 the other day and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, my losses were so big that they kind of outweighed my good. So the cons were so bad. I had little cons, like a little, not little cons, I mean a little bit of cons. Like literally, you know how you make a pros and a cons list? When I put my cons down for 2020, it wasn't a lot of cons and way more pros. And when the pros outweigh the cons, you can't really shit on it. Now, you know, I had a big con in 2020. But, you know, a lot of good came from it. And I think God is funny. He knows best. He does things, you know, things that we don't understand. We don't understand why things happen sometimes. And we don't understand why those choices happen. And there's a lot of things we will never understand. But what I do know is that I built a much stronger faith in God, right? And what I do know, and I don't even want to talk about certain things because I'm weird. I don't want to get like things to start getting shaky, but you know, my faith is strong. My God is good. So I just feel like lately, everything I ask for or want, I'm getting. And before, my life was not like that. I really always would say stuff like that. And it could be manifestation. It could be because of the things I put into fruition. But because I built my faith so strong, I'll say, you know, this is what I want. This is how I want it. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And it'd be little things. And they just come. Like, he's built such a strong strength in me. Britt says, through the face of fucking adversity, I came on here and filmed a video every week and put makeup on my face. Crazy? While I was pregnant, I was doing this shit. Like, while I was stressed the fuck out, I was doing this shit. Like, I'm talking about before, you know, everything happened. So I feel like I did way better with Britt says, built a bigger brand. I get little brand opportunities all the time, you know. I just hadn't taken them, you know, this year for several reasons. You know, I didn't want too much stress on my head. Yeah, I just felt like a really different me. Like, I really feel like a better person. You know, I still get stressed, but I feel a sense of peace, you know, sometimes. Like, I feel so much weight is off my shoulders sometimes. Like, when you go through something so traumatic, a lot of the small shit don't hurt you or don't upset you no more. Or when you build a relationship with God, you learn to leave it in His hands. So I feel like a weird sense of, like, I don't feel like I'm fully at peace because I still be getting stressed out, but I feel a different sense of peace when you go through adversity and loss. It's a different feeling you get with life, at least for me. So y'all gotta get on board with God. You gotta get in touch with Him in order to feel that love I'm feeling. I hope that when people see me, they see God, you know what I'm saying, and they want to build a relationship. I think that's one of the great things that came out of 2022, because you know, I faced adversity and I still got up every day and smiled and laughed. I know a lot of people can't even get out of their bed, and I'm not saying that to talk about people, but I hope that, and that's one of the reasons why I continue to do what I do, is that I hope that when people look at me, they say, how is she doing it? And I know some people's like, she's faking it, and I'm not. And that's the crazy shit. Like, this shit is real. Like, this is who I am. Like, and I owe that to God. I think something with being a God-fearing person will really clean you up nice. Like, I feel like I look better than I looked before all this shit happened, you know? Like, and I'm dealing with trauma. So, you know, one of my favorite slogans is, you know, trauma looks good on me. Because it does. Like, God will fix it. He you know, you can't fix things that have already happened, but He will clean you up and dust you off and wipe your tears, honey. I'm saying I hope people look at me. That's one of the reasons why I do it, because I want people to look at me and be like, how she wake up every day? How she on the internet goofing around? Like, that's one of the top things I want. I want people to look at me and be like, I know one of the top things people probably do is like, she's faking it. She's trying to hide her pain. No, I got my pain. I have it. But I have my peace. I have my God. So I hope that people look at me and be like, yo, I would hope people wouldn't think I'm faking, because I can't fake. I feel like people can't fake things for but so long. Like, you can't, you know what it is? When you experience trauma, you'll realize this ain't fake. That's the only thing I can tell you. When you face adversity, you'll realize this ain't fake. You know why? Because people who face adversity, you really go through some shit and you cannot get up. Like, if I was really still, I still battle. I don't want to say still battle with the pain, because I do still battle with the pain. But if I was really, 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 really dealing with that shit, like real aggressively, I would not put on no fucking makeup and get in front of a camera. I promise you, I wouldn't do that shit. You can't. You feel when you go through trauma, you can't do it. That's why I took a break for a month. You cannot do the things you used to do normally. So, like I said, I hope that people look at me and they see God himself, honey. I hope, I really do, because this is the image of him. All of this. You hear me? That's the only way that I get up and do these things and edit and smile and laugh, and like even I, you know, sometimes look at myself and be like, I can't believe who I am. Like, I can't believe I'm laughing, or like even when I like, because when you get a C-section, like your abdomen was in pain. Like, I can't even believe I'm walking. Sometimes I'll be dancing or playing like certain things I still can't believe I'm doing, you know. So yeah. I can't believe it. Just like some people look at me like, she gotta be faking the funk, or I can't believe she looked like that after everything. Me neither, bitch. I be looking at pictures of myself. I be looking at me sometimes. Even, you know, I'm just like, wow, God is real. That's what I be saying. Like, this motherfucker is real. I'm telling you, girl. Y'all better get on board. I'm just saying. But last but definitely not least, what are we leaving in 2020? COVID. COVID gotta go. I ain't even going to expand too much on it. We all know why it has to go. You know, I am not opposed to the vaccination. Did I speak about this on the last episode or the episode before? Like I said, you know, I went through a lot this year, especially with health, medical stuff. Like, a lot of things I don't know behind the scenes. Like, I'm constantly going to the doctor, not because I'm sick or anything, but I have to be paid attention to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to make sure I'm always Gucci, because I went through like a traumatic surgery and things like that. So I have to make sure I'm always on my P's and Q's, you know. I'm going to the cardiologist. I have to go to my primary care every 6. I used to be just the girl who would have to go once a year. You know, I'm not that girl anymore. I might have to get blood work soon, just to make sure, you know, not even little things, just to make sure like my potassium levels aren't low or my iron isn't low. Certain things that I dealt with because, you know, of my situation or whatever. So I feel like I have all these unique situations and these things that I went through that I'm gonna get tight if I get the vaccination and I get some sort of reaction to it. That's the only reason why I'm opposed to taking it. I have a real reason. Some people just don't want to take it because they don't trust the government. And you know, respectfully, that's not a bad reason. But you know, I hope that, you know, because the first group of people taking it are, you know, nurses and doctors, and I hope that, you know, there's a beautiful, I know that there will be a beautiful outcome from the vaccination. We will see a lot of people just flourishing and living their day-to-day life from getting the vaccination, and then that will normalize the vaccination and all of us will get it, and the world will be a beautiful place in 2021. COVID will be completely done. It will be completely over. We will look back on this shit and we will not laugh. I hope you was not expecting me to say this shit. We will look back on this shit and say, wow, I survived, and that was crazy and that was insane. And yeah. Yes, that is what we're leaving in 2020. Happy New Year's to you, because when I see you again, it will be a new year. I am so excited for 2021. I'm so excited for 2021. I don't know why. I don't know what's in store for me, but I know God got some good plans for me. I know that anything that comes my way, I can handle it. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And that's the same for you, honey boo. Yes, good things are coming for you. If you're watching this, you know right now, good things are coming for you. Keep your head up. Anything you got planned, anything you want to do, you will receive it as long as you put the work in. As long as you have faith. This was I was gonna say an awesome year. I was stretching it. This was a strange, sad, beautiful year. And if you've been watching, because I literally put out episodes damn near all year. If you've been watching all 2020, thank you so much. I have so much prepared for you in 2021. Follow me on Instagram, _Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe, please. Like, comment, and review. And I will see you next year.